Good morning and happy Wednesday. Today's Ebony figure is Henrietta Lacks, a woman whose DNA was wrongfully taken and used to advance research and medicine. Henrietta Lacks was a 31-year-old tobacco worker from Roanoke, Virginia. She was born as Loretta Pleasant, but changed it to Henrietta over the years. Her mother died at age 5, so she moved to Clover, Virginia to be with her grandfather. Since his slave owner, who was also his father, was a Lacks, Henrietta eventually took on Lacks as well. After marrying her first cousin David Day Lacks in 1941, they moved their little family to Baltimore, Maryland to begin their new life. Day worked in the steel industry and Henrietta worked as a tobacco farmer. One day in August 1941, Henrietta went to Johns Hopkins Hospital to treat her cervical pain, which turned out to be cervical cancer. She was treated with radium, which was the best cancer treatment at the time, but ironically, it was known to cause it. Not only that, but radium was able to burn the person's skin, which contributed to Henrietta's death 2 months later. Here's the catch. According to Archives by Maryland, Dr. George Gay, Henrietta's physician and human cell researcher, collected samples of her cancer cells each visit to study its abnormalities as to how and why they stayed alive. No consent was given from her or her family to take her cells, and to this very day, Henrietta Lacks cells, aka HeLa cells, continue to advance medicine. Interestingly, HeLa cells have not only been used to study causes and treatments for cancer, but they've been also widely used to create vaccinations against polio, COVID-19, and aid in a plethora of biomedical research. In a PBS interview with the former National Institute of Health director, Dr. Francis Collins explains that the reason why HeLa cells are immortal was because of their link to the human papillomavirus. And down the rabbit hole we go. Human papillomavirus, or HPV, is a sexually transmitted disease that causes abnormal cell change in the cervical tissue of the vagina. Studies by the Minnesota Department of Health state that 90% of sexually active men and women get HPV at least once in their lifetime, and 50% of the population are at high risk for cervical cancer. When a female goes for a pap smear, the physician will swab her vaginal walls to test for any potential sign of cell abnormality, and if the percentage falls within a certain range, more follow-up tests are done. And in the case HPV goes untreated, the abnormal cells may grow and turn into cancer. So if you're a woman 21 and over, please go get tested. If only Henrietta was knowledgeable to get a pap smear early on, what do you think her life would have been like? All in all, one's life should never be taken away to be deemed valuable, but we thank her for her contributions to medicine despite her cells being stolen. Henrietta, your story sparked a reason for more in medicine, more in health, and specifically in the health of Black women. No amount of financial compensation can ever suffice for your contribution to the field of medicine.